It was said that to any and everyone who would lay their hand upon the wise, mystical trees would be granted a gift of forgotten knowledge unlike any other. Granted that they were awake, that is, as they would only awake for a week every 7 years. This was treated like a holiday in most villages, especially celebrated throughout Sindamore, where families and friends would all wander off into the forests in search of these trees for celebrations. However, this year was most different, as the king of Sindamore himself grew quite angry over the matter. He hated the idea of his own people growing too intelligent and began feeling like this is how his society would collapse and overthrow him. So, with that, he began marching his knights out with the sole purpose of burning these trees to the ground. This would spark an outrage and chaos among the villages, but there was nothing they could do, as the government was powered by a great magical force. Everything was going smoothly, up until the great-grandfather of the wise trees began to feel the pain of his sons. He began seeing the visions of his sons' gruesome deaths and realized he must fight back. So with that, he began using the powerful forces of nature to slaughter off the king's forces. The great-grandfather tree was the soul of all the forests in the lands, and, when needed, could enact great powerful forces upon those who would disrupt the peace of nature. Over time, knights began getting picked off, one by one in their sleep, with no trace of where they could have gone off to. Animals that were known to be harmless began violently attacking the soldiers with no reason as to why. It was true, the knights were completely helpless among the forces of nature, causing almost all of the king's forces to retreat in a great defeat. And although many of the trees were gone, there was always time for them to regrow and continue on.